What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video on my terrible channel. It's been a little while, I know. I've been taking a little bit of a break. It's the holidays, so what can I say? But I wanted to let you guys know I am back. I'm going to be uploading again regularly. I hope you guys had a great Christmas and have just had a blast with the holidays and seeing your family or seeing your friends or seeing your imaginary friends, whatever. Today we're going to be checking out another video from Share My Story, which of course is one of my favorite storytime animation channels. Their stories are just so over the top, just so ridiculous. It just really makes you wonder if they're real. Today's video is My Stepbrother Filmed Me, and that is the actual thumbnail.
This story is about my violent stepbrother. I was so scared he would hurt me that I tricked him into committing a crime, so he had to serve a long prison sentence.
What? Right off the bat, that's how we start? Okay, well, I guess like him filming you, I guess that takes place eventually. But holy crap, literally 8 seconds into the video. I'm honestly, I'm just getting so used to so much crap happening at the very beginning of the video. This doesn't even faze me anymore.
It all started when my mother got married to George. He was an absolute jerk, but his son Peter was even worse. He had autism and always stared at my body, even though I told him to stop doing it.
Oh, okay, well, they dived into a little bit of a trickier subject on this one. Now that we know the brother has autism, it'll be interesting to see how that plays into effect with the story and consequences and what the girl ultimately ends up doing to send him to prison? I guess he goes to prison. Damn.
Sometimes he even tried to hug me, so I had to physically push him away. Maybe he didn't have bad intentions, but I didn't care. I told him he was a huge creep and a loser. Unfortunately, my mom thought I was disrespectful. She said, "He has a disability and you need to be nice to him."
Geez, that escalated quickly. This is actually a tricky subject. I mean, I get it that, he has autism and he does have a disability, but at the same time, you shouldn't be able to use that as a defense. So I hope he's not going to use that throughout the whole video to get away with everything.
I responded, "But I'm scared. He wants to hug and touch me and he's much stronger than I am." But my mother wouldn't listen. You see, Peter often had meltdowns where he suddenly attacked his own dad and bit into his arm. But what if he attacked me one day? Well, my mom didn't care. She forced me to have regular board game nights with Peter, and he always acted as if I was his girlfriend.
Monopoly. Is that how you spell Monopoly? That looks fishy. Oh, it is.
Smartphone and say, "Hey, I'm here with my girlfriend Christy, and tonight we're playing Monopoly, just the two of us." It was so creepy, and one time we all went swimming at a lake. I was wearing a bikini when Peter came up to me and just stared at my breasts. It made me feel very uncomfortable, so I screamed, "I don't like you, no girl likes you, and that's why you're gonna die alone as a creep." His reaction surprised me. He sat down and just started crying. Suddenly, I felt bad for him and apologized.
Oh man, okay, yeah, looks like we're going down that route. I don't know, guys. I mean, autism has kind of a spectrum from what I know, and we don't really know what level on the spectrum the brother is on, so we can't really gauge how much he can't really interact and understand, social mannerisms of other people and really figure out what's right and what's wrong. But I suppose it is perfectly possible that he could be using his autism as a defense to, do things that he shouldn't be doing, which is very bad and you shouldn't do. But it's interesting because I know people that have, autism that aren't super high on the spectrum, and, they have very good control of themselves, and they would definitely not condone this type of action at all.
I said, "Hey, I'm sorry for what I just said. Actually, you are a nice guy." But I regret saying that because he stood up and hugged me, pressing my body against his. I had to push him away and told him to F off. The next morning, I got ready for school and took off my pajamas to get into my favorite leggings. But when I turned around, my heart skipped a beat. Was there someone laying below my bed? I looked closer, and yes, there was my stepbrother Peter. He was holding his smartphone, and I completely freaked out and screamed, "Get the F out of my room, you dirty creep!" Peter got up, and that's when I realized that he must have been filming me the whole time. That's why I tried to take it away from him, but he was too strong and just left.
So he was under the bed, he was filming her, he obviously has been caught staring at her. What the heck are the parents doing? Also, I just remembered, so later in the story, she comes up with a plan and sends him to prison. So then you come out and share all this information publicly? How do you think he's gonna feel about that if he sees this video? Then again, maybe he's still in prison. They don't have YouTube in prison, right?
I felt so angry and helpless. Peter could do whatever he wanted and just blame his autism. I went to my stepdad and said, "Get your son under control. He filmed me this morning from under my bed. He saw me changing my clothes and he is a creep." But my stepfather started laughing and said, "Calm down, he's harmless. He just doesn't know how to properly talk to an attractive girl like you." I freaked out and screamed, "But I don't like him back and I never will."
That just sounds creepy coming from the stepdad. Relax, sweetheart. He just doesn't know how to talk to an attractive girl like you. Come on, dude. Step up. And step up your game in the gym, too, okay? I mean, that's pathetic.
He is a creep. My stepdad got angry and said, "No one cares who you like. My son has autism and you have to respect that."
You just magically put a shirt on?
I couldn't believe it. No one punished my stepbrother for filming me while I was naked. So it was no surprise when the next day, Peter put his hand on my shoulder and asked, "Do you want to go to the cinema with me?" I kicked him so hard in the balls, he fell on his knees and cried for minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I said, "Don't ever touch me again."
Give him the balls?
But just a few hours later, my mom, my stepbrother, and I were sitting at the lunch table when he took his soup and threw it on my mom's breast. Then he laughed and said, "Nice." But instead of getting angry, my mom said, "It's okay, no worries." However, I knew Peter had done it on purpose, so I told him, "That's why you don't have friends and why you never will find a girlfriend. You are a disgusting pig." And Peter responded, "I have autism, don't bully me."
Oh, man. Honestly, like, this story just seems like so... Like, this situation is so touchy and kind of, like, taboo. It just feels like the writers are really trying to, you know, like, make people, I don't know, conflicted in this particular situation because we just don't have any way of really... We don't have, like, evidence of the brother really, like, being autistic enough to not understand, you know, his actions, or if he does completely understand and like the girl is kind of alluding that he's just doing everything on purpose. I mean, obviously from the point of view of what she's saying, it does look like that. So that's really all we have to go off of.
He was using his disability as an excuse to behave like a jerk again. Some people are just disgusting. A few months later, my stepbrother attacked one of his teachers in school. It was so bad that the teacher had to go to the hospital.
Oh my God.
My stepbrother was put on trial and got a 3-month prison sentence.
He beat up the teacher so bad he looked like Frankenstein. And now he has to spend 3 months in prison? How does the stepdad not realize that his son is a problem now? Come on.
My stepdad was furious and screamed at the judge, "Can't you see he has a disability?" And the next day when my stepdad sat on the couch, I went over and said, "I told you that your son is a jerk, and the judge agrees with me.
Don't do that.
Peter uses his autism as an excuse to hurt other people.
Don't.
I'm glad he's locked away." It was so satisfying to tell my stepdad that he was a terrible father. And then he stood up, went right into my face, and screamed, "If you say one more thing about my son, I'll throw you out of the house." Life without my stepbrother was so much better. But of course he came back after 3 months, and he had changed. He had dark circles around his eyes and didn't speak. I bet his cell inmates didn't put up with his tantrums and gave him a few good beatings.
Oh.
I thought...
Wait, I mean, did he really spend 3 months in prison? But aren't they still, like, in school? Like, aren't they students? Like, I don't think he would go to prison. Wouldn't he go to, like, juvie? So in that case, wouldn't he have been, like, with other kids? And, like, there's no way, like, juvie is, like, an actual, like, prison. I mean, like, so, but they're saying that it's prison. Honestly, I don't know. See, that's another red flag that tells you that this part of the story was probably made up, if not the whole story itself. Also, could they not make the stepbro and the stepdad, like, look exactly the same? The only difference is a couple of wrinkles.
I thought he had finally learned to be respectful, but he quickly went back to his old behavior, just worse. Now he would stare at my breast nonstop whenever he wanted. I got so scared that I asked my boyfriend to move into our house.
You have a boyfriend now?
I wanted him to protect me. But when my stepbrother saw us together holding hands, he completely freaked out and screamed, "I'm her boyfriend! I'm her boyfriend!"
The frick?
He was like a baby. And one time I forgot to lock my door, so Peter opened it and saw my boyfriend and I making out. He got really angry and screamed, "No!" Then he got a hammer and destroyed the wall between his and my room. He even put his head through the hole and screamed at my boyfriend, "I'm gonna kill you!" And then he threw the hammer at us. He only missed my boyfriend by a few inches.
Here's Johnny!
Okay, I think it's safe to say at this point, the brother, the stepbro, yeah, he's a danger, not only to you know, the girl, but to other people as well. I don't know if prison made it worse, and I don't know if like the judge, you know, should have like done something else and send him to prison, you know, because of his autism. But I don't know. I don't know how any of this stuff works and how you take that into account and into what like a judge's decision would actually be. And that's why it just seems so bizarre to me, the whole thing. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Right now, we're halfway through the story, and the stepbro has gone to prison for 3 months. He's been staring at the girl's bobs, and he just destroyed the wall of her bedroom and almost murdered her boyfriend right in front of her with a hammer. So if that doesn't scream psycho to you, I don't know what else does.
That's when we decided to get rid of him. We knew my stepbrother was on probation for beating up his teacher. So if he committed another crime, he would be sent to prison or to a mental health institution for several years.
Okay.
So when he was watching cartoons, we went right in front of him and made out. As expected, he freaked out again, but this time much worse. He turned into a psycho and punched so hard against the window that it broke. Then he picked up a big piece of broken glass and came towards us. He didn't know that we were filming him on a hidden camera, so I said, "Stop it, why do you want to kill us?" When he was only 1 meter away, my boyfriend shot a taser at my stepbrother and he collapsed.
I was about to say, like, it's good that you're getting all the evidence of this, but like, what are you going to actually do to defend yourself? Because he's literally about to murder you.
This time, the judge sentenced my brother to 8 months in prison. But when my stepdad found out what I had done, he resented me so much that he threw me out of the house.
He literally just tried to murder 2 people. They have video evidence of it, and he only went to prison for 8 months? Something's fishy here. And another thing, how can the dad still be defending his son when he literally almost committed murder? Like 2 murders. And further, isn't this proof that the stepbro obviously has feelings for his stepsister and is jealous and wants to be her boyfriend? Isn't this enough to convince the actual stepdad that his son is like creepy and being weird and doing stuff that he should not be doing, obviously?
He screamed, "You've destroyed my son's future!" And of course I was incredibly angry that my own mother allowed him to throw me out.
What?
Afterward,
Mom, you too?
I didn't see or talk to my mom in years. But finally, I came back over Christmas, and yes, my stepbrother was...
Look at that! They look exactly the same! The only difference is a couple wrinkles. Ugh, I don't know about you, but I would be super freaked out if I lived in a home where I just saw 2 heads like that looking exactly the same. So far, the girl has moved out. She's on her own. It seems like she's happy with her boyfriend. She's finally got away from that toxic family, but now her mom is in trouble because she's going to be like $10,000 in debt. She's the only one working. Her stepdad does not have a job. And of course, the stepson is still living there, causing who knows what kind of havoc.
Well, that night I slept in my old room. But when I wanted to take a shower the next morning, I noticed that the underwear I had put into my bag was missing. And of course, I knew who had taken it. It was my creepy stepbrother. I didn't even want to think about what he was doing with it, and it was so disgusting that I didn't even confront him about it.
What the How the heck do they monetize these videos? I am so curious. So back to the story. They're sitting down for Christmas, they're opening presents, things seem to be going okay, until we see that the stepbrother and the stepdad neglected to get presents for the mom. And it was so hurtful to her that she had to hold back her tears to the point where her daughter freaks out, she yells at them, she calls them both lazy, she calls them trash, which they are, both of them. The stepdad tries to reason with her, he tries to come up with a defense like, hey, well, it's holiday season, how can I apply for jobs right now? And it's finally at this point where the mom realizes she can't take this anymore and she says, you know what, we're over. And of course, in reaction to that, the stepdad blows up, blames the daughter, saying, you've been ruining this family for years and you've been trying to destroy me all while I have depression, I lost my job, it's all your fault. Eventually, the mom moves out of that house and moves in with her daughter, but since the divorce process takes so long, it was enough time for the stepdad to use the mom's credit card, I don't know how he got it, and rack up an even bigger sum of debt. And this is essentially how the story ends. Eventually, the mom does get divorced from this psycho stepdad and psycho son, but she's still thousands of dollars in debt, and there's nothing she can do about that, even though she's divorced from him now. But at the very least, she's finally away and free from that toxic household, and so is the daughter. So I guess that's the happy ending? Man, and all of this stemmed from the title, My Stepbro Filmed Me. Can you be more clickbaity than that? Share my story. That almost had nothing to do with this. I'll give this story a 3.5 out of 5. I had to make it a little bit lower because it was just too clickbaity. There's just nothing to do with the actual title. It was like minuscule how much actually related to the title. Half the story was about the abusive stepdad and everything that was wrong with him. And just the fact that so much of this could have been avoided if just some people had made smarter choices, or some people weren't just as idiotic as they were. Stepdad. All in all, entertaining story, but yeah, that's my final review on this one. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video. Good night.